Hello all and welcome back to Broadside, a channel that focuses on highlighting history in video games in a casual way. Today we're going to focus on something we've done with earlier Assassin's Creed games and examine the dialogue of the heralds you walk past and around in Assassin's Creed Mirage. Let's start.
Citizens! The Muhtasib would like to remind all merchants that vessels and their contents must be kept covered against flies and insects. You know who you are. Let not pestilence taint your wares and defile your product.
Okay, this is an announcement from, according to my research, an official that supervises the bazaars and trade more generally in the city. Likely this was an appointed position, and this individual had to make sure that the public businesses were operating and conducting their operations in accordance with the law of Sharia, Islamic law. This specific message relates to merchants that have been lacking when it comes to covering their wares, specifically those dealing on the waterways of Baghdad, likely focusing on the Tigris River. So, cover your food items, people. Jeez. Next.
Citizens! The Khalifa reminds you that while thieving is strictly forbidden in Baghdad, all are encouraged to keep their purses close and their valuables closer, lest they fall prey to larceny in the street.
No, what? People steal here? I would never. Let's move on.
Citizens of Baghdad, our scholars advise us that the signs point towards flooding on the banks of the Tigris this season. Please secure your homes and procure plaster in anticipation of necessary repairs.
Yes, the challenge that all Civilizations and Civilization 6 players know dearly. You need rivers for their fresh water, but have to deal with their seasonal floods. The melting of the snow in the Turkish mountains have historically caused dramatic flooding on the Tigris, which is the river that splits Baghdad. Looking into a survey that I will put in the description, there are 2 recorded floods from well before and well after our time period. In the 620s, there was a massive flood that damaged irrigation systems and dams, and in 1073 the city itself was damaged. There likely were many more in between these two, but I just wasn't able to gather any evidence to support that. Nowadays, the river is heavily dammed to prevent those floods, but that's a controversial subject we're just gonna let sit. I'll end with the note that plaster is a common building material that dates all the way back to antiquity, so it would make sense that they would want citizens to have plenty ready for repairs. Moving on.
Citizens, please note that there is considerable congestion by the Damascus Gate caused by an overturned cart. All travelers and merchants should be aware of significant delays.
Well, this is a specific site we can visit in the Round City. Historically, there were 4 gates into the city of Baghdad at this time: the gate of Kufa, gate of Al-Sham or Damascus, the gate of Khorasan, and the gate of Basra. And these each are named after the cities and regions one can get to by traveling through them. As we are at the gate of Damascus, we will be able to get to that ancient city, which we were lucky enough to visit in the first Assassin's Creed game. None of these historical gates have survived to our day, which is terrible news, frankly, but I digress. Apparently there is trouble with congestion at this one specifically, and we're gonna have to use our bird GPS to help reroute. And that's gonna do it today. Thank you all so much for listening and watching, and yeah, check back next time for more Assassin's Creed content.